Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Slam of Wrestling. Myself, Suprit, and this is your AEW Dynamite review for March 17, 2021. This is their St. Patrick's Day Slam edition, I think.
Yes.
So before we talk Dynamite, let's talk about you, man. Getting birthday shout out from Makito.
I'm a simp. Now
So let's.
certified.
So what you think about Dynamite this week, man?
Uh, I thought that it was a good show. Nonetheless, uh, there was some things which little bit you can say that were out of. You can say why didn't put a little more effort into it. Other than that, it was a good show. It was completely watchable. I saw the ratings of the United States. It weren't as good as you should expect from Dynamite. That is, they are hovering between 700 to 900. It isn't probably working at this time that they are not surpassing 1 million. So there is some problem probably. So we have to see what is their problem. So they would probably have to take some measures regarding
2 more weeks and NXT weeks to Tuesdays.
that. So that could do it, you are saying.
Hopefully.
Let's see.
So on this edition of Dynamite, we had Penta El Zero versus Cody Rhodes, Jurassic Express and Bear Country versus the Matt Hardy brand. We had John Moxley and Eddie Kingston. They faced the Good Brothers. Jade Cargill was in action. And in the main event, we had Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker in an unsanctioned lights out match. And so much more. But before that, if you are new to this channel, then make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure to like, share, do all that fun stuff. So, let's get into the first match here. That was Penta and Zero M versus Cody Rhodes. So this was somewhat of a mini blood feud that actually started a revolution when Penta was targeting the injured shoulder of Cody. And last week, Penta took this to a personal level, you can say. About the match, it was decent, I guess. And if you talk about the outcome, I think Penta should have went to. What do you think about it?
I think that yes, they could have done that. Penta going over. But the fact is that that is probably WWE booking, 50-50 booking. That they are doing that they are continuing the storyline. So giving Cody the victory is a little not WWE-esque. Yes, they gave the victory to him via roll up. That I guess he was setting up for something. Uh, Pentagon Junior was setting up for something, but Cody just rolled him up for the pinfall. So it is not, you can say, Pentagon's stock didn't go as down as it should because it wasn't a clean loss for him. But the fact is that yes, the storyline, I guess, it should, it would be continuing, in my opinion. And overall, with regards to the match, as you said, that it wasn't a very, spectacular match, so to speak. Probably they are, you can say, they are saving it for the future bouts or bout. That is that then they will bring their A game and they would go at it hard. So right now, yes, it was hard hitting back and forth competitive action from the start. It was first match of the night, so they do it that is a hot and wild, start. There is absolutely, you can say, little to no selling. You can say even Cody is a great selling, you can say, old school style of wrestler, but still in this match, they adopted to the Pentagon style. That is little to no selling. It is spots, getting the crowd hot for the rest of the match, rest of the show, so to speak. That was this match. Selling was, I just said it was not as good as it should be in such matches if there is two incredibly talented people in Pentagon Junior and Cody Rhodes. But yes, they are furthering the story, so I would expect that in further matches which we would see down the line, they would do it, selling and more classic matches which you would also enjoy and we all would enjoy.
So let's talk some highlights here. Penta actually started the match with a dive. So Penta targeting the arm of Cody here throughout the match. Cody did a big Hurricanrana off the top. So Cody hits the crossroads. Penta kicks out, and at the end it was Penta who did the arm breaker, only for Cody to get the win via roll up, and that was
Hmm.
basically it.
Yes.
Post match, we had Penta attacking Cody. So here comes Justin Rhodes and the Gun Club for the save. But after all this, finally, here comes QT Marshall. He decided to show up. So still continuing, this story between QT Marshall and Nightmare Family. And like
Yes.
you mentioned here, there could be a possibility that they go with the Pentagon road to maybe have some matches, Dustin Rhodes versus Pentagon, etc. Something like that.
Yes, and then they could also further their storyline with regards to QT, that we can see a big blow up at some at some stage. And there was at one point, you can say, that is modern day professional wrestling at its best. Cody hit the crossroads. Cody hit his second finisher, which he did in the independent circuit, the vertebraker he used in Ring of Honor, and he kicks out at two. What the fuck? You know, that is modern day professional wrestling.
At least
So
even the
yes, you
spots it didn't even make sense.
yes, this stuff is really, this is amateur hour, in my opinion. Because now we have seen in AEW many things which are better in ring action from Cody Rhodes and many other people. I'm not saying the mid card or the lower card guys who would be growing into main event or uh, you know growing into better talents, but who are big or main event or mid card guys who have the experience. We have seen from them then how to not do what WWE does. Multiple finishers kick out at two, and what is being done in independent scenes to pop the crowd. Finisher, kick out at two. Finisher, kick out at two. What the fuck? You are taking it away the power of the finisher. How much of Kenny Omega's finisher is protected? You know that. Every time his match is on, they say no one has kicked out of the one winged angel except you know that guy. Who is it?
Nobody.
I guess you said at one point it is Kota Ibushi.
Yes, 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 yes. You just reminded me that Kota Ibushi
He's
did
the
kick
only
out of
guy.
the one man range.
Yes, he's the only guy. So the commentators at every point of time, they say that. So the finisher has a legitimacy, it has something. So these guys, they don't give a flying fuck about that. And even WWE does absolutely nothing with regards to their finishers. That it is a piece of candy, just throw it out. Because we don't know how to do in ring psychology, we don't know how to do near falls, You must have seen or you must have heard the match of, I guess, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Randy Savage at WrestleMania 3, I guess. So people talk about that match, that was such a great wrestling match. People talk about that. So go to that. They didn't do 100 finishers. People don't go to Rock versus John Cena to talk wrestling. That do finisher 1, 2, 3 and kick out, do finisher 1, 2, 3 and kick out. Please, that is not wrestling. That is not wrestling.
In-ring psychology at the end of the day.
Yes.
Speaking about in-ring psychology, we had the Young Bucks. So there, so these guys were, being interviewed. They talk about their upcoming title defense against Pac and Phoenix. So they get interrupted by the invisible hand, Don Callis. So of course, Bucks are not happy with Callis. So Callis is saying that these are not the same Young Bucks you saw in New Japan, etc., etc. We also saw Callis give them a no leg slap shirt. That's a thing. So that's not the last we saw of these three guys. We would see them again in the upcoming segment. So
Yes.
I can say that finally this story with the young bucks and Don Carey is finally growing right now,
Hmm.
because that eventual turn on the young bucks, it's coming.
Probably. Yes. There is something which is brewing. Either the Young Bucks would join, or it is a turn probably that you are saying it is coming. Whatever is happening, that we are intrigued. We are intrigued, absolutely. We are invested in this story. What is happening with the Bullet Club and the Young Bucks? Absolutely, we are. We are, intrigued what is happening. And even now with the, Impact Wrestling now having at Rebellion a title versus title match with Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega. So that is also, you know, we are looking forward to that on April 24th. And there was a tweet, with regards to this segment only, that the shirt, the leg slap shirt. So that is an insider thing. Only the people who know wrestling very inside stuff. So they only know about that, the leg slap thing, the leg slap technique. So why was it put up on national or international television for the world to see, for the mainstream? That would only pop the people who know this shit. You are only making it to the people more obvious that it is fake, someone said. So, what would be your take on this? It,
I would say
it is,
that I didn't mind that whole shirt thing, no leg slap thing, but you could make an argument that this stuff should be saved on BT only, not Dynamite.
yes, I would think so too, because I also didn't think about that. I thought about it after when I saw the said tweet that yes, probably the said shirt, yes, it is only applicable to people like us who know the shit too deep about wrestling and who are insiders. That could only pop us. It would not pop the mainstream people or the casual viewers. It won't. It would only, hamper the mystique of professional wrestling, because they would ask, "What is this leg slap?" Then you would give them that when they do the moves. I do not want to say that here. Absolutely not. It would hamper that.
I think this is not the first time we have seen, hardcore wrestling fan references on national television. I think
Yes,
WWE has done it multiple times, in the last
the,
10 years or 20 years or so.
but they have done it in such subtle fashion that probably it won't go to that extent to the masses. They only do it probably very subtly. WCW did it on a massive scale when they were going downhill, probably in 2000, when it was probably Russo or Eric Bischoff, whoever they were in charge, and the company was not wanting, the Warner Media was not wanting professional wrestling on their network, so they were doing whatever it takes to pop and to get the audience. So they were throwing it out that Goldberg is not following the script. What the fuck are you doing? Fuck.
Let's quickly get into the next match. This was Jade Cargill versus Danny Jordan. So, of course, this was the first singles match for Jade Cargill. It was short. We did see Jordan get some spots here and there. So Cargill with a kick, a German finally hits a chicken wing slam that she calls the J-Leg, and that was basically it. Post match, Cargill had a little interaction with Red Velvet. Uh, I don't mind them doing another, a singles match between Red Velvet and Jade Cargill.
Mhm.
You can, on one side, you can do enhancement matches for Jade Cargill. You can build her up, and you can give away this random match on a Dynamite.
Yes, absolutely.
Shall we get to the next segment, or you want to add a little bit more for Jade Cargill here?
Jade Cargill, she has the build, she has the strength, she looks like a, star. Absolutely. Yes, you are saying that they are now, furthering their story. Probably they are thinking that they would straight transition to Brandy Rhodes after this gets over. Probably. I don't know that how
No,
long she is in her
at
pregnancy.
least a year.
At least a year, so I don't think so. It would, they would be furthering that story. But still, yes, a singles match would be, you can say an end game to this story. That yes, whoever gets the victory and then they can part ways. And probably they would do it with the babyface because the babyface wins. That's when the story ends. Just like what happened in the main event, obviously. So that would probably be it with regards to this story. So it's good. It would also help elevate both the talent, Jade and Red Velvet.
So we get to MJF. So he's accompanied by Tully Blanchard, FTR, Sean Spears, and Wardlow. So all of them walked out to the stage, and before they had shown when Dynamite kicked off, all of these guys coming off the plane, very horseman-like.
Hmm.
So we see Tully Blanchard on the mic here. He gives a brief rundown of what they did to each member of the inner circle last week. So he talks about being in the Four Horsemen years ago, and now he wants to end his career being part of this new group. So you have MJF now on the mic. So he said he was tired of playing second fiddle to Chris Jericho. So he wanted to join the inner circle just so that he can break the group from the inside. Then he starts putting over each member of the group and calls themselves the Pinnacle. So MJF said they want to take over everything, including Jericho's big locker room. And that was basically it. He said he's better than you, you know it. Usual MJF stuff here. I say
Hmm.
this was a great introduction to the Pinnacle, just by your basic promos. And they did a great job, not directly calling themselves the Horsemen, but, keeping the same mentality with a different name. What do you think about this whole thing?
Yes, I would agree that this was a great segment and great introduction to the said group. Yes, obviously, the absence of the fans hurts the said group. Obviously, the introduction of the group when the inner circle was introduced, I guess in the second episode, it had a great, vibe to it, and the fans were also in on it. And it happened in the first episode when they just ran roughshod in the main, segment in the main event. So I guess, yeah, you can say if you do the comparison, which is not at all good, a little underwhelming, but with the circumstances, yes, absolutely, it's great. MJF does what he has to do. Someone can, argue that he's not as charismatic as Chris Jericho is to, get the crowd reaction and so to speak, but he doesn't have to because he's a heel. He just has to, shove it down people's throats that what is his opinion, basically. And sometimes, people argue, and I have heard once or twice about MJF that he is a try hard, that he, when he insults people, it's, a a teen guy who is insulting, and he's a try hard, and he is just a EC3 or probably someone else. I am forgetting at this point. A light version of them. So, it is their opinion, obviously. Right now, what they are doing with this group, I am intrigued, I am interested, I want to see more that what is next. And yes, obviously, they are targeting the inner circle, absolutely, that the tag team would be going with the tag team. And Sammy Guevara also posted his, dentist pic on social media that he had to get his teeth fixed after the chair shot from Sean Spears. So yes, it is, it is going down some shape or form that yes, what is, in store. You were saying that it could be a blood and guts match. So we have to wait and see that when would it actually happen. I don't see that they would just give it right now. I would expect that there would be many interactions to build up to that. So we have to wait and see. But yes, absolutely, I am open to see a blood and guts match between these two teams. Absolutely.
And I loved how how MJF said that they wanted to win all the top championships in this sport. So,
Yes,
this is a group, taking that old school approach for four horsemen like. So why not have these
yes,
guys go over at NWA, win some championships over there?
it is happening. I am expecting that it is happening. And FTR would go there. Absolutely. I can expect that something can happen on the pay-per-view. Probably it is this Sunday. Back to
Maybe.
the attack. And there is a taping which is about to happen on Tuesday. It would air on Tuesday. That is NWA Power, which would be on Fight. Now it's not on YouTube. So, we can expect surprises down the line. So, I would not be surprised to see them on NWA.
So let's see. We had the next segment featuring Eddie Kingston and John Moxley. So both of them, hyping up the match with Good Brothers, upcoming match. So Moxley regrets buying the Talking Shop Mania, which is the pay-per-view run by the Good Brothers. So Moxley he calls Gallows the googly eyes one, and calls Anderson Chad too bad. That was basically it. Next match here we have Jurassic Express Bear Country versus Matt Hardy, Pride Party, Butcher, and Blade. Give us a short backstory of this match.
Back's story of this match. I guess the only thing with regards to Butcher and Blade is that Eddie Kingston is now a babyface, that he tried to save John Moxley at Revolution. So now Butcher and Blade have been somewhat of mercenaries, that they did need someone to lead them. Either it was MJF or someone else. So now they want they got Matt Hardy, who is,
Big money.
yes. So there's that. And Private Party, yes, I'm very happy to see both the guys now. And now we cannot insinuate anything, absolutely. We cannot. And with regards to Jurassic, this feud, Bear Country, if I'm not wrong, Bear
Yep.
Country and Butcher and Blade has manifested on AEW Dark,
Mhm.
and that is their that was their and the thing is, I was not as much invested in this match
Hmm.
as probably. How much were you invested? I am saying, frankly, I am asking.
Out of all the matches on this card, I took this match as a filler, but uh, I was satisfied with the story that they told, how this match came about, what is the history between Bear Country, who are they feuding with on Dark, what is their track record, and
Hmm.
why they are not uh, you know why is there problems between them and Jurassic Express. I was sold on that story, nothing much.
Hmm. Hmm. But it
So
sometimes it takes away, our investment in the program when a team out of the blue just comes, and competes on Dynamite, and it is in such a big match, a 10-man tag. That is so many people, and you have to be invested in the said match. And yes, whenever there is a 10 man situation, how much chaos will be there. There would be little to no coordination. There is obviously, if there is a story, yes, you would be invested, and the commentators have to do a good job with regards to it. They did a decent job, absolutely, with the things that they said. And yes, absolutely, Luchasaurus and Bear Country, they did their stuff, which they said the story to us, that there is some problems between them, and it would go down the line that Bear Country versus Jurassic Express, something would probably happen, probably on Dark or here on Dynamite. But it didn't have much of the attention here in this match.
so let's talk some highlights here. We had the baby faces getting rid of the heels early on. So the baby faces were posing here. Bear Country, they take Marco stunt and they launch him. And I mean, they literally launch him over the heels. And they did it in such a fashion. If there was nobody to catch Marco stunt, I 100% guarantee you this guy would have landed on his neck.
Absolutely.
So after this whole thing, we had a little dissension between Jurassic Express and Bear Country. So commentators there did a great job explaining the whole situation between these two teams. We had the heels taking advantage, going after Jungle Boy. So heels were in control until hot tag to Luchasaurus. And in the final parts, we see Marco Stunt. He was the legal man. So Hardy, he causes a little distraction. This allowed Pride Party to hit the gin and juice on Stunt. But Hardy wants the tag now. He wants to get the win for his team. hits the twist of fate, and that was basically it. So I wanted to say that we didn't see much of Bear Country. I think they are saving something for them, a big tag match on Dynamite. And by the way, what was your first impression on Bear Country?
Yes, we didn't see much, I guess, of them in this match. So I cannot, pass an opinion with regards to them. But yes, what I saw, what they're trying to tell a story. Yes, absolutely. I want to, see that what is their story and what is, their problem with regards to Jurassic Express. And they would probably be, giving that to us in the coming weeks. Yes, at this point, my interest with regards to it is very low. So I want them to, give the said story a little more of the narration. They can do it via their, backstage segments or backstage promos, little bit, and also the matches. Backstage promos do a good job, a better job than the matches, obviously. So first a backstage promo, then the next match. That would be my approach with regards to when they would be having their next match. And then they could probably have a big blow up, and then there would be a match Jurassic Express versus Bear Country.
Speaking about backstage segments, we had a interview segment with Christian Cage. So he explains us the term workhorse. So
Did you see the title of the this interview segment on YouTube? You know
what
what
was
was
that?
it? It was Christian Cage speaks for the first time.
Ah,
So
even they hyped it up on Dynamite. That was their tagline.
yes. So so people were laughing about it. That what the
I don't
fuck
know,
is
man.
that?
I don't know. Maybe they should consider changing the social media guy or something.
Can't you come up with a better set of words?
Have you seen
Fuck.
their Sting, the video where Sting debuted? It says, "Where were you when Sting debuted?" Or there is another example about the Kenta video. What was going through your mind when this happened?
Uh,
Oh man. So where was I? Yes, Christian interview segment. He was talking about what a workhorse means, and this is the term that has defined his entire career. So he said he's not in AEW to take other spot, but just to focus on one, and that's the top spot, which belongs to the current world champion Kenny Omega. He says he will work his way to the top, and the reason he's here in AEW to outwork everyone. That was basically it. So we'll see where it goes. We talked about Be Free on last week's Dynamite, how we should build up Christian Cage to get that world championship match.
yes. And it
And
would
by the
not
way,
be a bad idea to
hmm,
go for the Impact World Championship.
yeah, that's even a better option, you
Yes.
know. And by the way, did you get to see AEW Dark Elevation?
No, but I have heard some things, and I can pass a review on only one thing.
I'm
That
getting to
is,
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that.
yes, yes,
So I
please.
I didn't watch the whole show here, only bits and pieces.
Hmm.
And I stand to my opinion that this show is not different than AEW Dark. Basically the same thing.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
I don't know if this is gonna be a thing, but they did a big angle on Dark Elevation, with Matt
Hmm.
Sydal and Kenny Omega. Where
Hmm.
Sydal basically wrestled two matches. One was, a exhibition match. One was a useless match with, Nakazawa to build this ongoing thing with Kenny Omega. So we also had, the Sugarman Tony Khan coming on camera just to book, eliminator match between Seidel and Omega. This whole thing was very WWE-esque, and everyone universally, didn't like Khan coming on screen doing all this stuff. What do you think about this?
Hmm. So I didn't watch Dark Elevation at all. Yes, I have heard the chatter absolutely about this said segment. So I want to first of all say that TK, first of all, you said on your interview with Rene Paquette that GMs, authority figures are a thing of the past and it is uncreative. It should not be done on television. So what the fuck is happening right now? Are you a hypocrite piece of trash? What is happening? What are you doing on Impact Wrestling? On the paid ads? And what you did here on Dark Elevation? It was amateur hour in my opinion. How were you speaking? You know, oh my God, you have a match, you have a match, you have a match, you have a match. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? Are you trying to outwork? That's a good thing. Outwork someone who is doing a great job somewhere. Do you want
Ah,
to outwork someone? But the thing is, you cannot do that. You cannot. Now, it is clear that you are a one trick pony. You can only do mark shit. You can only do mark shit that is shit on Impact Wrestling on Impact Wrestling television. That's it. You can only do mark shit. That's it. On Dark Elevation, you exposed yourself on to everybody. And there is also another clip of Dark Elevation. There was a match between Luchasaurus and some other guy.
that was dark.
That was dark. Oh, great. That
And
is their
they
programming and that is taped. And how did that come about on your programming? We have no clue. They were trying to do some clothesline or something like that, and they just stopped midway. And commentators were also, there's a Hindi word that is called bachakke reh gaye. And you would understand Mr. Tony Khan, that word. And they were also doing, whoa, 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 whoa. The commentators. What the fuck is happening? This is amateur hour on your programming. What the
I think
fuck?
after premiering that on YouTube, they finally, took that clip out. I think that particular clip.
If they took that out, that is great. But it has circulated everywhere. It was on WrestleBotch, who is followed by almost every wrestler, every credible wrestler on the planet. So there's that.
But yeah, let's get to John Moxley and Eddie Kingston versus Good Brothers. So
Yeah.
Good Brothers, these guys are former Impact World Tag Team Champions. So they lost the titles to Finn Juice Robinson, and David Finlay at Sacrifice.
Yes.
So this whole situation makes the Good Brothers, it made easy for them to take the L here, clean or not any other fashion. So let's get to some highlights here. We had Eddie Kingston being attacked on the stage. So Moxley joins in. He's all taped up. We got a huge brawl ringside. So they hit the Magic Killer to Moxley. So this takes him out for the majority of the match. So the Good Brothers were dominating Kingston, and finally Moxley got a tag as he ran wild. So Moxley with an inside cradle on Anderson for the win, and that was your entire match. We had a little post-match angle here. You know, Good Brothers. So they attack Moxley. Here comes Kenny Omega and Don Callis. So Omega had a steel chair in hand. Kingston for the save, but gets put down as Kingston's leg was wrapped with a chair as Anderson crushes it. So they're about to do the same thing with Moxley, but here comes the Young Bucks. So the club, they wanted to do the two sweet with the Young Bucks, but the Bucks are not interested and walk away. So Moxley recovers and chases all the heels. Commentators mention us that Don Callis just ran away from Daily's place, and that was your entire thing. So here's the thing with Kenny Omega. This guy is, and I think, set for the next 3 months because he has lot of programs going on, with several competitors right now. And
Hmm.
same can be said for the Young Bucks because they have Phoenix and Pac on their mind, but also have these problems going on with, Gallows and Anderson, Don Callins. There's that story.
Yes. Uh, right now, I see that with regards to this match, I would like to say that Eddie Kingston sold his, gouging of the eyes really well. That Anderson and Gallows, they did that to, there was some purpose. Why did they do that? Because in the pre-match promo that happened backstage, they were, making fun of Gallows' eyes. So they did that, and it was a good karma for that. Not a good karma from the Good Brothers, but still, but nonetheless, the fact is that yes, it was a competitive match. It was not extraordinary with regards to who the talents were involved in this match. They are, extremely talented, but nonetheless, it was yes, it was a competitive match. They, the bay faces one with the inside cradle. Yes, it doesn't, lower the stock of the heels. So now I can see that probably they are going for, there could be a match right now. I guess trios action. They can book Kenny Omega, Good Brothers versus the Young Bucks and John Moxley. And Eddie Kingston would right now be selling his injury, so he would be written off for a few weeks. That is his, I guess, a knee injury, if I'm not wrong.
Ankle.
Yes, ankle or knee injury, whatever. So they can do if it is right now that probably they are not doing it, but the fact is that they can. That is that the Young Bucks do the double cross on John Moxley and they join because now uh, there was a segment done with Don Callis and Young Bucks that he challenged them that you aren't the same as you were in Japan. So that also adds to the story. So there is a slight possibility of that. And the second possibility is yes, absolutely the normal road that yes, it goes and we have Young Bucks versus the Good Brothers. And we have John Moxley versus Kenny Omega because the exploding, we know that it was shitty and it didn't write off John Moxley of the product. So we have to do it first. Then Kenny Omega can go to further opponents, that is Christian Cage and Eddie Kingston. So first of all, we have to get rid of John
Moxley.
Moxley. Yes.
They could have done. They could have, taken off Moxley off television just to sell, not the explosion, but the entire barbed wire match.
Yes, they could have, but they understand that it was such a, you know, huge backlash. They wouldn't have done that. And they also uploaded the, the clip which was post-match. So they can expect that he was still, conscious and in his right mind to, speak and everything. So he can absolutely compete at some point. So now they have changed somewhat of the plans. So we can expect some match at some point, which would probably write off John Moxley. I would expect that. So then he can, he meaning Kenny Omega would go to the other opponents in line, that is Eddie Kingston and Christian Cage. And also, of course, Rich Swann, that is the title versus title match.
A lot of things going on when it comes to Kenny Omega.
Yes.
So next we had Shivani was interviewing Darby Allin and Sting. So we had Allin talking about his title reign so far. Says in the last 3 months he has only defended the title 3 times.
And
He
the
said
crowd was
that now he
cheering.
has. He said that's no, that's a joke. So he said that now that he's done with Team Taz, he wants to be a fighting champion, defending the title every week. So he wants to do that by honoring the greatest TNT champion. We get Brody Lee chants. So Allen issues as an open challenge to any member of the Dark Order. We had uh, Lance Archer interrupting again. So he is mad that Sting is getting the TV time and not him. So Archer then focuses on Allen, says he'll put his ass in a coffin. So Jake Roberts calls Allen a weenie. So we'll get to the second part of this segment, but I want to get your thoughts on this whole situation because last week we were, thinking about if they are going to do Sting versus Archer, but I think this was a great follow because they could do a scenario where if they want to do, Darby Allin versus Lance Archer, Archer has to go through Sting first, something like that.
Mhm. Yes, yes. I would agree. Now they have done it in a way that yes, yes, he's open to fight both the guys. So I would expect, yes, as you said, that first he wants Sting. Absolutely. His first eye is on Sting. Absolutely. And then Allen saying that he wants to be a fighting champion, giving an homage to the greatest TNT champion. Yes, it is brownie points, absolutely, that it looks a little, you can say, yes, it is baby facish, absolutely. Sometimes it looks a little preachy, but nonetheless, yes, uh, he wasn't a fighting champion, first of all, the person he is referring to, the greatest TNT champion. But okay, and then uh, probably he is foreshadowing Scorpio Sky's victory. That how Scorpio Sky would be winning the championship. That yes, this guy would be the fighting champion now. That is Darby Allin, and then Scorpio Sky would be winning in a squash match, just like Brody Lee did. So it could be a little foreshadowing.
Let's see. And the one thing I liked about, this segment here was that Jake Roberts finally spoke.
Yes,
And I hope with this upcoming feud, they have, Jake Roberts speaking a lot, for Archer, hitting the, sorry, cutting those creepy promos while, Lance Archer can be your typical ass kicker. Same formula they used in that Cody feud last year.
yes, yes,
So we
absolutely.
had, so as these guys leave, we had Team Taz interrupting these Sting and Allen. So Taz was on the mic, but quickly Brian Cage takes the mic from Taz. He says that Ricky Starks was wrong when he said that Sting is not the icon. He said that Sting is still the icon and he has earned his respect. So Team Taz is all mad at Cage as Cage leaves. This was out of nowhere, very random, you know. And I actually liked Cage, as a heel in Team Taz. I don't know if I'm ready for a babyface Brian Cage.
He was I guess, a babyface when he left Impact Wrestling, and yes, I guess he was not very much. You can say he didn't have much to speak or show that how he is a bad guy, probably in Team Taz right now. So now, when he is a babyface, he can show whatever he has, that is doing the high flying moves that he should not do when he is a heel. Obviously, you should not pop the crowd. So now he can do all of that. He can do his power moves, he can do the high flying, he can do everything. So go for it. And now, when he would be a little, distanced from the heels, so now you have a fresh baby face. And then now, as Archer is a heel, Cage is a baby face, we can have a match soon between the two. Archer is now a heel again, as you said, that how will it work when he has Jake Roberts speaking? How will it work? They shivered in their boots and they gave him the heel position.
We'll have to wait and see where this goes. And let's get to, Ray Phoenix versus Angelico. This was, a short, fun match here. So Angelico looked great here with this, mat base offense, lot of submissions, literally forcing Phoenix to wrestle his style. So at the end, we see Phoenix getting the win via sitting tombstone, and that was basically it.
Yes. I guess with regards to this match, uh, you know, the only thing which was the story was that Pac and Phoenix won the Casino Battle Royale at Revolution, and they are now set to face the Young Bucks for the Tag Team Championship. That is the basic story which they are going with. This was basically an exhibition match, and Phoenix was going against one of the, better tag team specialists, that was Angelico. Phoenix and Angelico have been at each other's, path from 10 years in Mexico. That was in Lucha Libre AAA. And I want to say that why the fuck the viewers were invested in this match? Why? Only because probably of Pac, probably not of Angelico. There was only Pac and Phoenix that were on exhibition. No, nothing of Angelico, because where was Jack Evans? Where was Jack Evans? There was no heel action in the match from Jack Evans. That he is a part of a team in Helico. I guess the team is not disbanded. TS2 is still in place,
It's
if
still
I'm
a
not
thing.
wrong.
Still a
Yes,
thing.
they are still a thing. And if this were an exhibition, if this was an exhibition match, why was this so long? This match was so long. If this was an exhibition, why was this match so long? And are you taking TH2 seriously at all or not? Because the fact is, if you are taking TH2 seriously, there should have been Jack Evans at ringside too. You should have given a flying fuck about this match. Were you too scared that they could overshadow the main event that was involving the woman? That is why you did that. Because Phoenix and Angelico are incredibly talented. Was that the reason? And there was no big money mat involvement too, because last we know on Dynamite, TH2 was also involved with big money mat, if
But
I'm not
you,
wrong.
but you have to also remember that he didn't sign them to Matt Hardy brand his team.
Yes,
He only paid them for a one-off. That's it.
yes, they did. But you could give some story with regards to that, or commentators could give that. They were with them for 2 to 3 weeks. There should be something, yeah. You could give that something. And the fact is that if you are not as serious about this team, because right now they were with team Matt, now they are nobody. They are with nobody as of now. So what was it? It was right now Pac and Phoenix main event talent going there, who are about to challenge the Young Bucks for the tag team championship. You could have had the match a little shorter, and you could have had Angelico. The offense of Angelico could have been a little lesser, because if you want Pac and Phoenix showcased, like huge stars and competing against the Young Bucks and not giving a fuck about TH2, you people, the creative. So have a shorter match. Do not give Angelico absolutely no offense, absolutely no submissions, which he is capable of. And if you are giving him the submissions and other stuff, so give a fuck. Give a fuck. Give him his tag team, partner on ringside. Have a little heel action. Make a story. Have a story in transition to the tag team championship match. You can have that. Yeah, that's it.
So let's move to the next segment. We had an interview with Miro. So speak about Miro. He was in the news this week. So on the Jim Cornette podcast, he said on his podcast that something of the like the he called Penelope Ford a slut, I guess.
A pit stop.
So so after we had this Miro, Kip Sabian, and Penelope, so they openly called out Cornette on Twitter. So Cornette, in his typical fashion, just actually laughed it up, saying that these guys won't do a damn thing about it. So the reason I brought this up is I wanted to get your honest opinion on Jim Cornette.
I I guess I do not have with regards to this situation, because I have not heard the whole transcript with regards to what the situation was, the whole transcript with regards to the podcast. So I didn't. Yes, I have seen the tweets. I saw how aggravated Miro was with regards to Jim Cornette calling uh, you know Penelope a pit stop. It is also where you have been brought up, and what is the South, and what is your vernacular language, and how do you speak, and the time of the 80s, how do you speak, what is your language, and how do you make the people invested in your podcast. That is also a thing, that it should be entertaining, it should be engaging. So how do you make the people invested? So that is a whole another ball game. So how do you do that? That is your thing. Because yes, if you were insinuating Penelope and calling her a SLUT, it is obviously not acceptable. Absolutely. But the fact is that Miro's also the anger with regards to him. Yes, absolutely. He has full right, he has full freedom to express that. Absolutely. Do that. I have no, qualms with regards to any of these people, because what their mindset is with regards to speaking such stuff. The podcast person, that is Jim Cornette. Why did he speak that? To make it entertaining to to his listeners and stuff, and from Miro itself to be. what he thinks about, and to be, PC and be on the side of Penelope. That is their, it is, her friend, absolutely. So, there's that. So I do not have any opinion with regards to it. Yes, Jim Cornette has been, you know, a great mind with regards to wrestling, of course, but I do not have any with regards to this opinion that who is right, who is wrong, and who has the mindset. Why did he speak that? Why did he not speak that? I do not know. Because these are wrestlers, these are wrestling personalities, they are working people, they are trying to be relevant. There is many things which are at play. We do not even know the half of it.
Let's talk about this segment here with Miro. So Miro was asked about the challenge from Chuck Taylor and Cassidy from last week. So Miro says that he's not interested and wants to move on to bigger and better things. Says he wants to go after the AEW World Championship. Here comes Skip Sabian. So he says, how could you move on when these guys ruined his wedding? So Miro reminds Sabian that when the bell rings, he doesn't care about Sabian, he doesn't care about Penelope, he doesn't care about anybody. He cares about himself and getting that W, something like that. So Miro also said that outside the ring, they are still buddies. So Sabian accepts the challenge on behalf of Miro, and that's it. So the way they are putting this, and it's how it's coming across. It seems like they are finally doing this split between Miro and Sabian, and we could finally get the Miro that we have been wanting for so long.
Yes, yes. You talked about the split, and now it is happening. Now they are probably not waiting for Trent to get healed up and the storyline to finally, you know, blow up and end it all. No, they are now going for the split. Okay,
Maybe in the next month or so, we could see Miro challenging Omega for the championship, and then something happens.
probably, probably. Now Omega has so many challenges right now. It
Yes.
is cool. It is intriguing. Anybody at any time could attack him, and anybody at any time. There are many things at play, so it is great.
So let's get to the best part of the show, I guess. Thunder Rosa versus Dr. Britt Baker. Lights out, unsanctioned match. The one thing I like is that there was no, forced narrative slash agenda that this is the first women's main event on Dynamite. Yeah, this is the first women's unsanctioned match. No, this was basically two ladies getting the main event spot, settling their differences in a grudge match, nothing else. And about the match quality, it was your, standard lights out match, but mad respect to both ladies for the effort. And this could be, one of the best women's match that AEW has ever produced.
Yes, absolutely. With regards to extreme stuff, absolutely. On
And something,
television.
and I think we haven't seen this much violence in a women's match, at least in the States, maybe in Japan, but this is the first time on a major level to add, major mainstream level. We haven't seen this violent of a women's match ever.
Probably not. Probably not.
Maybe
You can
TNA, but
probably. There was one, you can say that it was hard hitting. It was not as bloody as you can say that it was, the kendo stick shots that was, between Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. That was, they were just literally, beating each other up. That was a little, you can say. And you can say the match that was you can say the hardcore shit that was in, you can say, PWG. It was not whole, ladies involved. It was,
Candice LeRae,
yes, guerrilla rules. How do you call that? I don't know.
Guerrilla Warfare.
Yes, guerrilla warfare, absolutely. It was, I guess it had the Young Bucks, it had Candice LeRae, it had, uh,
Adam
I
Cole.
don't know who?
Adam Cole.
Probably,
Or
probably.
that other guy, Joey Ryan.
Not to be named.
Yes. You forced me to name it.
J Probably, yes.
Yeah,
Nonetheless,
let's talk some highlights, shall we? And then get your overall thoughts of the match.
yes.
So match begins with Reba swinging her crutch on Rosa. So Rosa gets rid of Reba, and here comes Baker. Air raid crash on the stage. We see weapons getting introduced. Baker with a curb stomp on Rosa into the steps. This busted open Rosa. Baker with a superplex on a pile of chairs. So, Rosa would return the favor when she drop kicked a ladder into Baker. And I think Baker busted open slight deeper because we could see the, crimson mask overflowing on her face.
Yes.
So, we see Baker introducing thumbtacks and the whole crimson mask stuff with Britt Baker was a sick visual. So, Thumbtack introduced in the match. Rosa fights back. She sends Reba into a table. So, and Britt Baker gets power bomb into the tags. So we had Baker. She locks in the lockjaw on Rosa, but Rosa reverses just by pushing Baker into the tag, which was a somewhat of a great spot. Both women fight on the apron. Rosa picks up Baker, fire Thunder Driver through another table for the win, and that was it. Brilliant stuff, brilliant match. What you think about it?
I also enjoyed it. It was a great match, it was a great side, it was entertaining, it was a great match to end the show. Yet people are complaining about, the women were in the main event. That was the reason for, the lower ratings in the United States. But the fact is, there are many other reasons for that. So I would not put the whole blame on the women. And it was the first time probably that they have put the women in the main event. So hats off to their effort and what they have done. They put their bodies on the line. Yes, it is done every time they go in the ring. But yes, you know, it was so much hard hitting, and they just put everything. They literally gave us everything in the ring, and it was a TV match. It was not even a pay-per-view. It could have been on pay-per-view. It was a pay-per-view level of a match for the women, absolutely. And yes, Hikaru Shida was also seen scouting backstage. Jade Cargill was also seen scouting in the bleachers with regards to this match. Thunder Rosa was selling her, you can say, her unsteadiness and uneasiness really well after she got busted open. So great, full marks to her. So that is how you make the fans invested that fuck, she is hurt, this is real, this is happening, and how much this is hurting, and how much you are invested in this match, and how much you have to give them props. Absolutely, you have to. And there were a few spots, as you said, this the DVD from the top on the ladder from Thunder Rosa or Britt Baker. That was, that also looked nasty. And the superplex spot you just said on the, numerous steel chairs.
Yeah.
The story with regards to this match was basically that Thunder Rosa stole the thunder, pun intended, of Britt Baker. That Britt Baker was the face of the AEW Women's Division, and Thunder Rosa was the outsider. She came from NWA, and she gave us such great wrestling matches that she stole the thunder of Britt Baker. That was the only problem which Britt Baker had. So that was what was irking her. That was how this all manifested, and the weeks and months of the rivalry and the shenanigans. That is what this came to. And Britt Baker kicked out of the power bomb on the tags. That looked fucking nasty. How the fuck that she kicked out. And Baker, as you said, Crimson Mask, she looked like fucking out of this whole fucking world. That what is happening. Thunder Rosa was not even, her blood, stopped dripping at one point. But Britt Baker was fucking, she had something else. She was probably, I guess, she would be the star after this bout, you can say. She got the L, but overall, she got the W, in my opinion. Yes, absolutely. And finally, Thunder Rosa got justice for all the things. The babyface won, the Fire Thunder Driver through the table, and she got the win via pinfall. Great stuff.
And this was great way to end this entire feud, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. We were expecting such, matches, such a match that it would happen at some point. It would happen at some point, and many things, came in the way. Lockdown happened, someone got sick, something else happened. You can say that things happen for a reason. We got this match, and it was such a great match to, end this feud. Brilliant.
And I find it funny how Britt Baker went from having sloppy matches on Dynamite to having a career resurgence with this heel character, and then having the best match on the card.
That is only because of your suggestion to have enhancement talent matches. All
Mhm.
is on you. Thanks to
So,
you.
anyways, let's get that women's championship on Thunder Rosa finally.
Yes, now it is time.
So that was Dynamite.
Yes, that was dynamite.
So before we leave, where can these guys find?
Yes, guys, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at AbbeyManiac. And I'm currently working with an independent wrestling promotion in India called Wrestle Square. So you can subscribe to their YouTube channel at Wrestle Square Pro Wrestling. And I'm working with them as a commentator and the top 50%, the authority figure for Wrestle Square.
You can find Slamhub Wrestling on Twitter at SlamHubW, Instagram at Slamhub Wrestling. You can catch the audio versions of this review slash podcast on Anchor and Spotify as well. And also click subscribe, like this video, do all that fun stuff, and we'll see you guys next time.